Everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today I'll be using this cute stamp set from Kelly Perky and Hero Arts, and this is called Kelly's Spooktacular, and I'll be making a Halloween card. This is a tiny stamp set, but just so cute, and I think it works great for cards and also creating tags, as the images are pretty small. I have here a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I'm gonna be stamping this tiny coast. This is so cute, and I'm gonna create myself like a background. I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black, as I'll be doing some distress inking onto my background. I'm gonna give this a second to dry, and I'll be using some masking fluid to cover all these tiny ghosts. I'm using a small brush to apply this masking fluid or drawing gum this one is from Pebeo. And once this liquid dries, I can color my background without getting any color onto my stamped images, as I want to keep these tiny ghosts white. Now that my masking fluid is pretty much dry, it is a bit tacky, but that's how it stays. I'm gonna color my background with some distress inks, and I have Black Soot, Seedless Preserves, and Chipped Sapphire. I've never tried using my blending tools over a masked area with this masking fluid. I hope that I won't be removing it. I will try to be gentle. And I can see here that it already starts to peel off, so maybe it will be a bit more difficult than I've thought, and maybe I should use these with a bit of water. Okay, I'm just gonna apply a bit of the color and then use a brush and the water to spread the ink. So I brought in some water and will be using my brush to try to spread the ink. I also added some white splatters with Picket Fence Distress Paint. I used my brush and just flicked it on top of my paper here. And I'm gonna be using this Black Soot once again and darken up a bit the edges. And now it's reveal time. Hopefully I'm not gonna make a mess here. I'm just using my finger and gently scrub that mask off. I do have some spots where my color went over, but I will try and use a white gel pen. If I have used a smaller brush, I would have I would have been more precise when applying the masking fluid, but for me it was more of a testing. What I'll be doing, I'm gonna fix some of those areas and add just a bit of color with a tiny brush. Because I have the water that picked a bit of the color underneath, I'll be adding some splatter with just some clean water. And leave it a bit to sit on the paper, and then I will use my paper towel and remove it. As you probably know, the distress inks react with water even if they're dry. And I will try to use this paint and see if I can cover the color on my ghosts. I know that this is very matte. Now I'm using a black fine liner and go over the black stamped lines. So I've pulled out this die set by Simon Says. This is called Village, and I'm gonna be die cutting these three houses out of some black cardstock, and I'm gonna have them coming pretty much like this. And because the sentiments from this stamp set are too tiny for my huge background here, I'm gonna be using this Trick or Treat stamp set from Simon, and I'm gonna be stamping the Happy Halloween, and I want this to be at the bottom of my houses here. So I just want to make sure that this will fit. Just to make sure that these will be on a straight line, I'm going to use my ruler and draw a line at the bottom of my houses here. And I can tape them down with a bit of scotch tape. And these dies don't cut the bottom line, they cut only the top side of the houses. So I'm going to be using my scissors to cut in between, just following that pencil line that I've made. Okay, and I will be popping all those tiny windows after I will stamp and emboss my sentiment. I will be using this anti-static powder to make sure that the embossing powder will adhere only to the area where I'm stamping. And we'll be using this clear embossing ink from Simon. And I'm gonna be mounting this onto some foam tape right at the bottom of my card base. And because I want to add a bit of shimmer to my background, I'll be using this Shimmer Spritz Sparkle and shake it a bit before I can spray it 2 or 3 times. Just gonna put this cloth to protect my mat there. Okay. I have this for, I believe, 3 years, maybe even more, and I completely forgot about it. I don't know if you can see here the shimmer. I can now mount my panel onto my card base, and I'm just gonna adhere this flat onto a black card base. I'm using my ATG gun to apply my adhesive. That was the card for today. I hope I gave you some inspiration. I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye bye.